right. How's everybody doing? I'm Reg Lyerly, and I am the creator of the YouTube channel Give Yourself Enough Credit. I want to take this time to thank all the men and women of the armed forces, those who have served and those who are currently serving. This nation is forever in your debt, and I am too. Freedom is a beautiful thing, but it wouldn't be possible with all your selfless service and contributions. Let that be said. The day of this video is November 10th, 2021. Now, on November 10th, 1775, the Marine Corps was born. Happy birthday to the United States Marine Corps. November 10th, 2020 is a day of personal significance for me. This is the day that I entered the business of financial literacy. It's been one of the best moves I ever made. The opportunity for personal development and professional development has been unparalleled. And I want to give special thanks to the entrepreneur who introduced me to the world of financial literacy. Her name is Adrienne L. Edwards. She's an amazing person, a skilled educator. She's among the small percentage of people who apply to the U.S. Army Military Academy to ever get accepted. I believe God has a purpose for everyone. Now, I know without question that God has a purpose for her. I'm just glad it led her to the business of financial literacy, because I probably can tell you, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't be in this business now, and there wouldn't be a channel called Give Yourself Enough Credit. Now, I also don't want to forget there are a number of people who said yes before her, and I want to recognize those people as well. The great Dame Dr. Nicole Smith Jackson, the incomparable Robin Robinson, the great Ashton Henry. You know you've seen him on Steve Harvey. The great Alfred Nixon. There's so many others that I've learned from directly and indirectly because of their enthusiasm and their energy. Like Mr. Jamar Ogletree, Ms. Dominique Owens, Mrs. Michelle Kofer, Mr. Rick McGee, Mr. Cortez Jenkins. There are so many good leaders, and I'm pretty sure I can't name them all because I'm sure I'm going to miss someone. But one thing that they have in common is that they're so inspired and driven to do what it is they do, and that is a good thing. Let's get to the meat of this, shall we? You know I was in the military because I got to have my coffee. Now let's go. Let's talk about how credit affects our veteran population. But in order to understand that, let me give you a little bit of a bird's eye view when a veteran is first in the service, okay? And I can talk about this. I served a stint in the military, a pretty long one, but that's all right. Military life definitely emphasizes discipline and responsibility. And it's also a life of frequent moves, overseas deployments, and unexpected costs. And these factors can sometimes lead to credit issues. This isn't the case in everyone, but it does sometimes happen. There are two major things that I'm going to discuss as far as like protection for service members and what service members' rights are. And these are things that are very important. The first one is going to be the Servicemembers Civil Relief Act, and the second one is going to be the Military Lending Act. First, let's start with the Servicemembers Civil Relief Act. This is designed to offer some protection for military members when it comes to civil legal action, including matters of finance. For example, if a military member has a high interest debt before they join, it's possible to get that debt reduced down to 6%. Another example is default judgment protection. In a civil case, a default judgment occurs when one person doesn't show up to a scheduled hearing. Many times the judge is going to rule in favor of the person that showed up. Due to the nature of the military profession, military members may be protected from default judgments if they're not able to make a hearing due to military service. And I'll give you some examples of these. If you're in a foreign country, it's not as easy to get in the car and make a court date. Or if you're serving on a ship, it may not be as easy to get off of there to make a court date. Or if you're serving in an area where there's little to no communication, or it's a very austere area, it may not be possible to make a court date. Another thing I want to talk about is repossession and foreclosure. In certain cases, creditors must get a court order to repossess or foreclose on a property of an active service member. This usually requires the service member to have taken out the loan on the property before enlisting or otherwise going into active status. Now, the second thing is the Military Lending Act. This is designed to provide a number of protections for active members who are seeking credit while in the service. There are so many provisions to this, so I'm only going to key in on 3 of them. The first one is capping interest. This includes financing charges and fees on loans up to 36%, regardless of credit score or other factors. Another one is limiting what creditors can ask you to agree to do. Here's some examples of this, like mandatory arbitration or mandatory payments from your paycheck. Another one is protection against prepaid penalties. As in, you're not supposed to be penalized if you pay a loan back in full and you pay it early. Here's why I mention this. Most people who are veterans are either honorably discharged, generally discharged on other honorable conditions, and if you ever hear the form DD 214, it's the document that actually releases you from the service. Now, having knowledge of the Servicemembers Civil Relief Act and the Military Lending Act while in service, it can save time, it can save money, it can save litigation once a service member becomes a veteran. Now, I want to send a shout out to a fellow YouTuber. Her name is Sadie Pearl Owens. She is an extremely energetic and incredible entrepreneur. Her channel is Sadie Pearl Owens. Look her up. Check her out. You'll be educated and you'll be inspired. I want to thank the people on my direct financial literacy team. They keep me motivated and driven to find ways to reach people about this good news. You are welcome to like, you are welcome to smash the subscribe button and share this good news with everyone in your reach. I am Reg Lyerly. Remember to always give yourself enough credit.